All right, welcome back to another episode of the Thumb Strong podcast. I'm joined as always by Coach Bethany. How's it going today?
I'm doing really good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. So, today we're going to be talking about our top 5 ways of increasing energy and lowering or decreasing stress naturally. So, this is actually something that I was researching myself because I notice, especially in the afternoon, like around lunchtime, I usually crash. I think most people experience this. And then I kind of ride out the rest of the afternoon a little lower energy than I would like. So I was trying to kind of strategize and work around, okay, maybe tweaking some of my nutrition, some of my supplementation, hydration. Obviously, sleep's going to be an important thing. Seeing if I could find ways that can increase my energy throughout the day. And then I figured along with that, a lot of people deal with high amounts of stress. So why not talk about some ways that we can decrease stress as well? So we've got our list of different ways to help with both. So main goal for this episode is just to help you guys understand that natural energy or better energy and lower stress usually don't come from quick fixes. It's usually not just like a magic thing that's going to happen really fast, but they come from better daily habits that improve sleep, recovery, movement, nervous system regulation. So that's a big thing, is probably the nervous system. And we build up a tolerance or something to caffeine, and then all of a sudden when we don't have caffeine, we notice that we don't operate as well. So we kind of got to reboot the system. So a lot of people, usually feel tired, groggy, overwhelmed, kind of like they're running on empty, especially when they wake up. They might take a little bit to get going, and that's why we rely on a lot of things like stimulants. We rely on motivation, rely on willpower and things like that. But what we really need is we just need better habits that support our body and our brain. So energy and stress are connected. When your body's under more stress, usually your energy drops. And when your energy is low, everything kind of feels harder. So today we're going to dive into those top 5 strategies. So part 1.
So my first one, I'm going to kind of bounce back and forth here between the two of us, is to move every hour. So why this matters is that sitting isn't just inactive, it actively downregulates your metabolism, your blood flow, and your alertness. So the blood pools like in your legs, your brain oxygen does drop slightly, and then you feel foggy. So people tend to reach for caffeine if you've been sitting for a long time. And so, yeah, it's like by the time you get to the afternoon, if you work a desk job, like you've been sitting for quite a while. So the best way to implement this is every hour for 2 to 5 minutes. That's the best way to combat this, is to walk, do body weight squats, or even just like pace if you're on a phone call. Just moving back and forth within an office. If you can't leave your office, like even just standing up a little bit just kind of helps. Just move your legs. If you can, pair it with something that you already do, like a bathroom break, movement break. But yeah, if you sit 8 to 10 hours a day, your 1 hour workout is not fixing that, unfortunately. So like, especially if, at home on the weekends, you tend to sit a lot. It's like just every hour, like sometimes if you have a fitness watch, it'll remind you every hour to move. So just make sure that you're getting movement in every hour, and that'll help to combat a lot of the negative health effects of not moving.
Yeah. So exercise would be kind of number 2 on my list. So just to second what Bethany said, exercising, movement in general improves blood flow, mood, brain function, focus, sleep quality, and stress resilience. So typical practical protocol would be strength training 2 to 4 days a week, and then daily movement. So like Bethany said, just try to move your body daily intentionally. So going for a walk, or maybe it's a bunch of short little walks throughout the day. It doesn't have to be a 30-minute walk at a time. You can just get steps in whenever you can throughout the day. I think more importantly, having like a step goal would be better than just like, hey, I got to go out for a 30-minute walk every day. because sometimes that 30 minutes isn't available all at once, right?
Mhm.
Or it's just not possible. So if you can just accumulate steps whenever you can, that will definitely help. So those short movement breaks throughout the day are going to be key. But try to commit to, maybe setting a step goal or accumulating 20 to 30 minutes of intentional movement per day.
Mhm. Let's see, next one. So eating for stable energy is one that I started implementing recently. So focusing on not just protein, but also fiber. So obviously, like getting fruits and vegetables, everybody knows that, hey, that's a big recommendation, is to get more fruits and veggies. But it's not just about like healthy foods, more energy, or like healthy foods is weight loss. It's about blood sugar stability. So if you're pairing, good healthy carbs like fruits, even like oats, potatoes with protein, eating lots of higher volume fruits and veggies, you get more water, more nutrients. The micronutrients help to give you energy too. Um, and so having that slow digestion from the fiber, from the more whole foods, you get more stable energy because it's not just like everything's processed super fast and then like goes right in your bloodstream and then you're hungry a little bit later. It also helps to feed your gut microbiome, and so that impacts your mood and your brain function and then also your energy too. So focusing on adding fruit and vegetables to your diet rather than restricting anything. Um, a lot of times energy crashes are more so nutrition timing problems, but and not calorie problems, or just like more like macronutrient fiber, like not getting enough of those nutrients.
Yeah.
Rather than just like, oh, I had too many calories.
Yeah. Yep. So for one of my tips that's kind of related to that is hydrating and eat a high protein first meal. So a lot of people, they don't have the low energy because, maybe they think they're getting the right amounts in or they're eating cleaner, but a lot of times, we might be dehydrated or just under fueled. So even if you are eating cleaner, sometimes you're not getting enough total fuel in. So obviously it's going to be really important to eat fruits and vegetables and getting enough protein in, but you also want to make sure you're getting enough fuel to support your body's function. So we talked a lot about basal metabolic rate and our total daily expenditure in a couple previous episodes. So just making sure that if you can start your day with kind of getting your hydration and a good chunk of your protein in, that's going to help with your energy. So what we recommend is like soon as you wake up, maybe it's chugging 12 to 16 ounces of water if you're somebody that struggles getting your water in. If you want to supercharge that, you can mix electrolytes with it. So getting a little bit of sodium, potassium, magnesium is going to help you just stay more hydrated throughout the day and kind of give you a little mental and energy boost first thing in the morning. And then starting that breakfast with a big protein meal. So, and Bethany mentioned, like, if you're somebody that struggles with getting enough protein in, getting most of your protein in the first 2 meals of the day will definitely help you out. Otherwise, you might be left kind of hungry in the end of the day, kind of snacky, and then eating more refined sugars and carbs rather than like nutrient dense fuel for the body. So just for some examples, for really quick, obviously easy ways, just do like a protein shake with some fruit or some nuts to get your high protein, and then you're getting some fruits in. So that will kind of be a good combination. You could do like eggs and Greek yogurt, cottage cheese and toast, or eggs and toast, eggs and sausage, something like that, to get your protein in the morning, and not just specifically, you don't want just refined carbs, like just toast or just a bagel or just a donut or something like that. Like that's where you're going to get that high blood sugar spike and then crash right shortly after that. So protein and water first thing in the morning to kickstart your day.
Next one is reduce decision fatigue for mine. So by reducing all these choices that we have to make in a day, like what to wear, what am I going to eat, what am I going to do for my workouts, all these different things. There's too many decisions to make. It's better if you can automate as much as you can. or pre-decide. So then that way, in the moment, there's just like little energy drains that there's just like little things that drain the battery throughout the day. And it's like the more decisions you have to make throughout the day, the more it drains your battery. So if you can at least do, I know we talked about it last week, a hack is like keeping the same lunch and breakfast. Like even if you at least have the same breakfast every morning and like keep that super simple, something that you can do like overnight oats is what I'm gonna do. That way you can pack a lot of nutrients in there, a lot of protein, healthy carbs, fiber, nutrients, everything like that in there. And then that way, like you're getting that win early for one to like set you up on a good trajectory for the day. You're not starting the day off hungry, and then you're going to be full for longer to making sure that you get in that good breakfast. And then just like either setting out your clothes the night before or doing something like that to like have a plan for the day. Even just having a plan for the day will help reduce decision fatigue instead of like, oh, what am I going to do today? Like, should I get this done? Should I get that done? It's like, have like one day of the week be laundry day. Have a certain set time or schedule for the things that you want to get done.
Yep, 100%. So one of mine is going to be to use caffeine strategically. So caffeine can absolutely help with alertness and focus, but a lot of people rely on it all day long, and it could end up making their energy actually worse. We would consider ourselves definitely like, we need our caffeine for sure. We might have had our caffeine addictions. So we aren't saying to not have any caffeine, but we're saying to use it strategically. So too much caffeine, especially late in the day, can increase anxiety, disrupt your sleep, create crashes, and make you feel kind of wired and tired. So some practical tips or something that I would recommend is having a cutoff time. And you want it to be like maybe 8 to 10 hours before you plan to go to sleep. So if I plan to go to sleep around 8 or 9 o'clock, I want to try to have my cutoff time around noon. So around the lunchtime. So getting all my caffeine in before lunch, and try to have a limit. For most adults, the recommendations, less than 400 milligrams a day. I did a little bit of research and I was kind of going back and forth with my ChatGPT coach, and it recommended to try to stay around 200 to 300 milligrams a day. So that's going to be my goal kind of moving forward. So I do like 100 milligrams with my early bird, which is mixed with my electrolytes in the morning to get my water in. And then I might do either a pre-workout that's got about 150 to 200 around 9 o'clock. So that'll be kind of my mid-morning caffeine. Or if I don't do a pre-workout, maybe I'll do some sort of energy drink that's 150 to 200 to get. That way I'm staying less than 300 and I'm getting it all in before noon. So that will definitely help with your sleep. And, maybe for the first couple of weeks, it'll be kind of tough if you're used to having more. But it should start to see improvements in sleep, which will give you more energy, which will make it easier to go without that afternoon caffeine.
Yeah, and sometimes once you get too adapted to caffeine, more like you try to drink more to make it like better, like to have more energy, and then it backfires and
Yes,
the opposite
does.
effect.
That's happened to me.
Yeah, so kind of knowing what dose is good for you, like a little 100 up to 150 dose, like is pretty good for me. Anything above that, and it's a little bit too much, especially the 300. The 300s are awful.
Like the single serving drinks,
like the Rain and the Bang, not
Yeah.
anymore.
No, I
Used
agree.
to, and it's not a good idea anymore. So, staying under 300 is a good goal. My recommendation is, because that's actually one of my things with the caffeine, and trying to use better sources of it.
Yeah.
And so I have energy drinks to drink at my house, but the goal is to use them up and then to switch to either just coffee, matcha, or tea. And so not using any really easy, yummy to drink, like not that coffee's not yummy to drink, but the energy drinks that are super easy and convenient. Make it a little bit harder to get my caffeine in. Like so I have to put in effort to get the caffeine rather than just pop a top.
Yep.
So Trying to do that. Coffee is just a better source. You get actually more benefits from coffee, um, and as well from like tea and stuff. And you can have more of a like stable, smoother, longer effect if you do like a tea source, whether that is hot tea, iced tea. Obviously, you don't add a bunch of sugar to it, or like matcha.
Cool. Yep. Okay. My fourth one, I guess we'll call it. So we got two more. Mine is going to be get outside and get some morning light. So morning light helps regulate your circadian rhythm, which helps you feel more awake during the day, and you'll sleep better at night. So basically, it's stimulating your body. Be like, okay, it's daytime. We need to wake up. You need to be alert for the day. And then it also, since you've stimulated at a certain time, let's say you go outside and it's 8 a.m., by the time it becomes 8 p.m., your body knows, okay, it's probably time we need to start shutting down because you've stimulated and woke. So you get into that rhythm, and then your body will kind of go in its wake and sleep cycles a lot better. So getting some morning light definitely stimulates. I mean, even everybody knows if they like watch the sun come up or if they go out and look at the sun in the morning, like you just get a good feeling, but it also sets that circadian rhythm. So just step outside in the morning, take a quick walk maybe, drink your coffee outside. So if you have your morning coffee, like your caffeine, go outside and get some sunlight with it. And that'd be like a double whammy of getting your day going with some energy. And it only takes, 5 or 10 minutes or a couple of minutes. So if you can just kind of get outside and get some fresh air, expose yourself to some sunlight, that's going to help you have a little bit more energy throughout the day.
Yeah. So yeah, like being out in nature helps to do that. And just getting like quiet time. That's my next one is have some low stimulation time in your day. We are very over this. This ties into the stress reduction too. But staring at a screen all day drains your energy. We always have some sort of like, oh, we have the radio playing in the car, or we're listening to a podcast while we walk, or you're working and you got 10 different things going on your screen. You're cooking at home and you got TV on, and it's like we have so much stimulation built into our everyday. So like even just like playing music, like that's still I guess better, but there's still stimulation with that.
Right.
Rarely do we ever just like sit and stare out a window because we think like, oh, we're wasting time or like I'm being unproductive. But it's actually one of the most productive things that you can do because it resets your brain and actually like lets everything kind of like take a breath instead of just like everything running a mile a minute, So that's an odd but useful hack is just sit and stare out the window for 5-10 minutes. Time goes by a lot slower than you think. We have like that's the one thing when people are like, oh, time goes by so fast, and it's like if you just sit and stare out a window and like see how long that takes.
Yep.
And you'd be amazed at how long time feels.
Yeah.
Just like looking at a tree or like, sit outside and just look at the plants or something like that.
Yep.
Starting a garden, that motivates you to get outside early in the morning because then you can at least like go and look at your plants or do something like have a purpose to go outside.
Yeah, like have some chores or something to do.
Yeah, like either you can do something or just to look at it.
Yep.
Just say good morning to the plants.
Yep.
And then you get a little bit of fresh air. You get a little bit of quiet time. You don't have like music going on or anything. You can just hear the birds chirp. Lets your brain kind of just shut off and reset a little bit.
Yep, 100%. All right, so my last one, and I could say potentially the most important, is going to be improving your sleep. So sleep is the foundation for our energy, recovery, focus, mood, and our stress management. So if you're not sleeping enough, it's going to be very hard to feel sharp, focused, energized during the day. A lot of people solve that low energy, like we said, with high amounts of caffeine, when the real issue could be poor sleep. And the bad thing about caffeine is it makes your sleep worse. So it's kind of a double-edged sword because what do we do when we have a bad night's sleep? We cure it with caffeine. Caffeine creates a bad night's sleep. So it's just an endless cycle. And that's why one of my other tips was to use caffeine strategically. Limit the amount and make sure you have a cutoff time. That way you're not disrupting your sleep. So for sleep, what you want to do is have more of a consistent bedtime. And then obviously awake time would be important too. But like if you just had, between 9 and 10, between 10 and 11, I'm going to start shutting down. Try to avoid the screens, your phone, TV, stuff like that before you go to bed. So implement some sort of kind of nighttime strategy or ritual where maybe you read, plan the next day. So like Bethany mentions, if you're limiting distractions and disruptions, if you just have somewhat of a game plan for the next day, even with your nutrition, that's going to help you have more energy too. So like something I do is I plan my tomorrow. So I'll plan out my day, and that just helps relieve stress. And then I sleep better. I wake up, I know what I need to do, when I'm going to do it, everything like that. Right. Yeah. So some other tips for sleep though, other than just having like a bedtime, wake time, and shutting off screens and limiting caffeine in the afternoon. Cool, dark room. So if you can, like if you have a window where light's coming in, especially in the summer, like it's light till like 9:30, sometimes 10 o'clock, have like blackout curtains if you need to, a light fan going. Make sure all the lights in your room are off. So like don't sleep with the TV blaring or on. And then something that I do is you can do like cooling, like a sheet, or like I have a mattress cover that adjusts temperature. So it's in the summertime, a lot of people sleep really hot. Winter, we sleep super cold. So if you have like kind of regulate the room, obviously you don't have to do that, but you could at least, set the temperature in your house to where you need it to be. That'll help improve your sleep. So I don't know about you guys, but like if I wake up really hot, I'm getting a terrible night's sleep.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So these are just some things that'll help you guys. So set a consistent bedtime and wake time for like the next week, and like a 30 to 60 minute window each way, and see how you guys feel. That would be my tip. Awesome. But go. Do you have one more or no?
No, that'll be it.
Okay. So maybe what we'll do is do a two-parter, because obviously the energy took a little longer than what we were planning. So we will go over the top 5 for our stress relief next week. So try out some of these for this week. Is there any kind of action items that you want to attach with any of your tips, Bethany?
One thing that I do want to say is that you can start noticing a big difference pretty fast by implementing these different things. And even just like planning around, like if you know when you're going to crash, it's like there's things that you can do to help prevent that, of like whether it's making sure that you eat a good balanced lunch with like, the protein and the fiber, and then walking after lunch for 10 minutes, or even if it is just like standing up and moving around for 3 minutes, whatever you can do, just to get everything moving. It gives you a little bit of that energy boost. That way you're not relying on caffeine to power through the afternoon. That'd be a big thing. It's just like find what time you're most tired. And if it's all the time, then that's also like, I guess there's a lot of things that you gotta work on with that. But yeah, and also focus on, instead of just adding a bunch of things, focus on things that you can take away that stress you. People like to focus on like adding a million things at once, and it can be overwhelming and reduce your energy and increase your stress anyways. Focus on what you can take away to improve your energy, or improve your stress levels and stuff like that too.
Yep, 100%. All right. So hopefully this is helpful. Like we said, we'll get into our top 5 ways to lower stress next week. But go ahead and try some of these out. Pick 1 or 2 that stuck out to you the most and try to implement them, and let us know how it works for you. So until next time, we'll see you guys in the next one. Stay healthy and have a good day.